Mr. Chairman, good to see you again.
Thank you very much. A pleasure to see you.
You are working on so many of these front lines. Last year, I remember talking to you. You were very low key, but through my observations throughout this year, I think the conclusion I can draw is this guy has figured it out.
Well,
on many fronts.
Thank you very much.
And you are prepared early. So tell us about how these new technologies are becoming already a great realities of both your global supply chains and also of your management styles, which need to be catering to the latest change in technologies.
Let's talk first about leadership styles.
Let's do that.
I very much believe that empowerment is very important for the people. So I do not know anything better than my experts and my team members in their areas of responsibility. Yeah. What I can do, I can orchestrate an organization. I can help an organization really to embrace new opportunities and identify those opportunities and execute accordingly.
How would you help them to identify? I mean, that is the most difficult part.
Constant communication, 360 degrees communication. So I very much believe that skip level meetings are important, that you talk to your people, that you are approachable, that you encourage people to speak up and come up with their ideas. At the end of the day, the more people you can activate, so really add to this creativity process, the better it is. And we do this around the world. And of course, we need very talented people with academia background and expertise in material science and chemistry and physics and so on. And when you can motivate those people to make a contribution very early in their career, I think that's very encouraging. That's why our claim is also in this regard is open space for open minds. When we are close with our customers, when we are when we do open communication and open innovation together with our respective partners in the respective market. That's why we have R&D centers here in the country. We want to innovate here because here is the market. Here we can learn from our customers. Here we can learn from where the unmet needs of our customers really are and where's the opportunity.
How is the R&D center working here already? What are some of the latest development of that can contribute to your even global operations?
Well, we very much believe when we innovate here in China, we also manufacture here in China and we sell in China. So in China for China, that's our core belief. That's why we are continuously investing here also in new production. I think currently we're building 5 new sites, production facilities here in the country. We are opening a new facility and a new R&D center here in China, in Shanghai, for materials for electronic and semiconductor applications. So we need to be there in order to really make a contribution and make a difference. And with this, I think we step by step, in all humbleness, with our very focused approach, I think we can help our customers, for example, in areas like e-mobility and communication and other topics. So I think that makes a difference.
Can you give me specific examples?
Well, for example, packaging and semiconductor is an important topic. Front end, back end, there are multiple applications. All these are material based. I very much believe, for example, also in silicon carbide. And we very recently, a couple of days ago, we made an investment in a small startup, in a small Chinese startup that is focusing now on diamonds for semiconductor applications. I think a very new trend, very hot trend, probably very early. But in 5 to 7 years from now, we definitely will hear more about this.
I see the lights in your eyes when you are talking about innovation and talking about early there on the stage already. Despite all of these development, we also see discussions, for example, about electronic cars and semiconductors, whether politics is and trade policies will play their role. Will there be a positive role that they played? So your thoughts on that, because you are pretty much on the chain, supply chains and the value chains.
Yeah, we are material focused. We are early in the value chains, and of course we understand ourselves as technology enabler. And I think it's very important that we all understand what the challenges of also market forces are and how you can really develop market. And today we learned a lot about the new quality productivity forces. I think that's a new very important perspective on how we can develop our businesses and our industries, and developing it in a sustainable way, where we work with the resources in a meaningful way, in a responsible way, where we think about how can we use circular economy topics, how can we develop talent, how can we educate people. I think that's something that according to my understanding is going in that direction of sustainability and new quality productivity forces.
Including educating the policymakers in different parts of the world?
No, well, we are not here, and it's not my role to lecture on anything. But in the end of the day, I very much believe that we are all together learning how a sustainable world and a more sustainable world and a CO2 neutral world can operate. And that's probably one of the biggest laboratory exercises we all do in the real world to some extent. We are learning as we go. Yeah, what does it take? How can we do it? How can we benefit from it? How can we manage the consumption of resources? How can we limit the CO2 problems and other issues? Yeah? And I think we are making enormous progress, and China has been making enormous progress. When you look at the quality of air, the quality of water, enormous improvements over the last years. So that's very encouraging to see that. And I think many parts of the world are looking into that, and we also look into the regulatory world. If I'm not mistaken, Europe and China have a similar perspective on regulation when it comes to CO2 neutrality, and the regulatory framework is very, very similar now. Very recently, China launched a new policy around this, and this is very encouraging. Yeah? So by introducing these frameworks, I think we are giving the markets, the industry, a direction, and understanding these forces better, understanding what it really takes, will enable us to build our business models around these topics, and from an entrepreneurial perspective, a positive sign.
You know, the general impression I have by talking to you, you are always keeping a very peaceful mind. You know, even at the very hype of geopolitics, you know, by others, you still remains to be, you know, in such a calm mind, at least in your explanation. I think this is quite a impressive thing, to say the least.
Well, for me as an entrepreneur, the glass is always half full. So there's a lot more to gain. Yeah? There's a lot more to gain, and I focus on the things I can influence. And that's technology, the level of motivation of our people. That's being a trustworthy partner for our partners here in the region and other markets. And that's what we focus on. And after 365 years of corporate history, we have a little patience.
Right.
And staying focused, I think, is one of the characteristics of our business.
You know, just individually, I'm also curious, because before talking to you, I tried to learn a little bit more about your company and see all these different areas. It's very hard for anyone to be an expert in all these areas. But as a decision maker, you need to have at least a certain level of sophistication. So how would you be able to keep yourself up to date about the latest possibilities? Every field we are talking about having so many different branches of new development now with AI and many other things. So how do you do that on a daily basis?
Yeah, it's good.
I'm just trying to steal some secrets from you.
I'm always learning also from you during our contact. So I very much believe that I'm not the decision maker alone. I want to encourage people to take decisions first. Second is, I have my ears and I have my eyes. So listening to people, encouraging people to speak up is very important. Communication is so important. And in the end of the day, it's probably our, as a family-owned business, you have a little bit more time than probably a listed company. So we can try out things, we can iterate, we can learn, and then see how things can go faster and how we can accelerate growth. But the step-by-step approach, this is, I think, one of the fundamental elements of our corporate DNA, and I think that is a sustainable way of doing things, and we feel encouraged to continue like this.
I feel a sense of zen and delightfulness always coming from you.
Thanks for the feedback.
Thank you so much.
Thank you.
It's such a pleasure to see you again. Thank you.
You.
And that's all the time we have for today. If you'd like to know more, search World Insight or check out our YouTube channel. Follow us on X and Facebook. On behalf of my team, I'm Tian Wei. Thanks for watching. Bye for now.